We don't have any would you rathers. We've kind of just decided that we're gonna do would you rathers when they're not really easy, but more like doable, if that makes sense. Because I think sometimes we'll just sit here and we'll just think about would you rathers for like literally an hour, and then we'll have two by the time, and it's already 8 p.m. You know what I mean? So probably just gonna do those whenever they're easy to come by. So we're not gonna have any this episode. Uh, by the way, I'm Caleb,
I am AJ.
and this is Mythologicast. So we're not gonna do. I mean, it's kind of a myth. Do you consider a Skinwalker a myth?
Um, I don't know. There's few cryptids I feel like are real. Like Mothman, no. Wendigos, I feel like they could be.
Mm-hmm.
Skinwalkers, same thing. I feel like they could be.
Mm-hmm.
But
A
like a shit
nice.
like Mothman, I don't believe in at all.
Well, Mothman is very kind of far-fetched, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like he shows up when a big disaster is about to happen, and like this and that. But like, I don't really think there's like an actual like founding reason for it, if that makes sense. The thing with the Wendigos and Skinwalkers is like it's a religious belief. I wouldn't even say religious, more how would you put that? Cultural belief, like widespread by an
Yeah.
entire group of people, and it's a little harder to ignore at that point. Um, so we did talk about Wendigos in my last episode, and in that episode we talked a tiny bit about Skinwalkers, more just to give kind of the difference between the two. So Wendigo, if you remember AJ, is person that committed cannibalism, ate another human being. That's a Wendigo.
Right.
And then skinwalkers are basically medicine men or women that have basically used their powers for evil. And then I think they are actually given the power of a skinwalker. They're not taken over, they're not possessed, they are given the power, if that makes sense.
Weird.
So, I tried to watch a couple episodes of the Skinwalker Canyon thing on Netflix. Oh gosh, I could not get past that guy that called himself Dragon. I was like,
I know.
that's pretty lame.
That's
Um,
about when I stopped watching.
yeah, his thing was he was like, yeah, they call me Dragon. That's what they call me. His name is like fucking Terry or something like that. He's Terry
Yeah, I
the
remember.
Dragon. It hurt my brain. Um, and I watched a little bit, and I was like, okay, like half of it is good, but then like the other half just seemed too reality show TV made up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I get it's a TV series. It's meant to kind of be public, like to be enjoyed by a mass amount of public, but man, it just feels a little too fake for me, you know? Um,
Yeah, I get it.
so I think I got like 3 episodes in. I got to the point where there was this guy, the dude, he was the superintendent of the ranch, and I got to the point where he basically talked about digging, right? And apparently, if you dig at Skinwalker Ranch, it's a very bad thing. And he started digging, and then what happened was, if I remember right, a sack of fluid popped up in his head and separated his scalp from his skull.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember that.
and then he was like, I don't want to go through that again. I think it's too dangerous, blah, blah, blah. And then one of the new guys they bring on, like, decides to do some sort of testing, and then it starts to happen again. Like his head starts swelling or something like that, I guess. They don't really show it, but he leaves. comes back the next day, and he's like completely fine, I guess. So a little weird, but that's about the point that I got. I didn't really get that far because in the first like 4 episodes, they don't really talk about skinwalkers like at all.
Yeah, not very much. No,
They
they're just trying to figure out like, I guess what's happening at the ranch, not necessarily what skinwalkers are.
Yeah, they kind of like, oh, let's take some readings, and they're like, oh, there's weird readings. We want to get to the bottom of that, so we have to start digging. And then they're like, no, and then it's like 3 episodes of just like nothing happens really. Um,
Yeah.
so I got a little bored. Uh, actually, funny thing is, I was watching Ghost Adventures today, and I was eating, and this was like at 6:30ish, something like that, uh right before the podcast. And I left to come in here on Ghost Adventures Skinwalker Ranch episode. I'm not even kidding. And the funny part is, I didn't pick that episode out, right? I play it on, what is it called? Uh, Discovery Plus. And Discovery Plus has basically a function where you can go to like any show and they will play like random episodes on like a TV style format, right? There's no like commercials or anything, so they'll just play one episode and then it randomly goes to another episode and it's not in any order, I don't think. Um so we clicked on it, hopped in the middle of one episode, watched for like 13, 14 minutes while we were eating, and then bam, it goes to the next one, and it's time to go record. But I pop up, and sure enough, it's Skinwalker Ranch that came on. So I thought that was kind of cool. How random. What are the chances of
Yeah,
that, you know?
that's yeah, that's weird.
Okay, I also really like the Skinwalker Ranch episode by Ghost Adventures. I'm a huge Ghost Adventures fan, by the way, guys. Okay, so, to get a little bit into really what today's episode is about, I'm sure if you watched my Wendigo episode, some of this is going to be the same material,
Oh,
but I
watch
do
it like we
have,
have a TV show.
yeah, listen to it. Then some of this will be the same, but a lot of it won't, hopefully. Um, so basically, right, if you remember, skinwalkers are actually called uh, Yi Naldushi in the Navajo language. I guess that's probably butchering it, but in the Navajo language, at least from the letter pronunciation that I'm seeing, it's Yeenaaldlooshii, right? So Yi
Okay.
Naldushi, Yi Naldushai, something like that. That directly translates to it goes on all fours. Now,
Gross.
yeah. Now, AJ and me on that Wendigo episode kind of looked up some stuff and we saw what like Wendigos look like. Um, Skinwalkers basically look like humans. Well, they have multiple forms. They look like humans, but in their human form, they have animalistic traits. And it's mostly noted, like I have a little section in here talking about like how people would know if it was a skinwalker, and one of the big things to look out for is their eyes. Their eyes will look like an animal's eyes, and
Okay.
when they're in animal form, their eyes are like completely red, like beet red, not a normal
Weird.
animal's eyes. Okay, so anyways, while perhaps the most common variety seen in horror fiction by non-Navajo people, the Yi Naldushai is one of several varieties of skinwalkers in the culture. Specifically, they are a type of, and I'm going to butcher this, I even took this shit out of italics because I couldn't read it in italics. It is anti, Antii, anti Inni. Ini. I have no
I,
idea.
yeah, I don't know. I would have said like any.
It's here, AJ. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pop over in Discord real fast, and I'm just gonna put that in chat. and try and pronounce that. And then
Uh, Anahini.
Inahini.
I have no idea.
Will it give me the italics? No, it won't. In italics, it's fucking so hard to read. Okay. Anyways, past that. Navajo witches, including skinwalkers, represent the antithesis of Navajo cultural values, while community healers and cultural workers are known as medicine men, or by other positive, nurturing terms in the local language, witches are seen as evil, performing twisted ceremonies and manipulating magic in a perversion of the God's work of medicine. In order to practice their good works, traditional healers learn about both good and evil. Most can handle the responsibility, but some people can become corrupt and choose to become witches. So it's one of those things where it's like, I guess to become a Navajo medicine man or woman, I'm just going to use a blanket term medicine man, but I'd just like to state that it can be both male and female skinwalkers. I guess
Okay.
to become a medicine man, you have to learn both good and bad magic. I don't know why bad. If I had to guess, it's probably to identify in case, like, who knows, maybe, you know, someone put a hex on you or like a curse of some sort. I feel like that could be something, a reason for having to learn the bad, because then maybe you would understand or like recognize the symptoms of a bad magic or something like that that's put on someone that you're supposed to heal, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I guess that knowledge can sometimes lead them off the deep end. Now, the legend of the Skinwalkers is not well understood outside of Navajo culture, and I like I like this part. I like this part a lot. I have a quote by a man in the end of this paragraph. But due to reluctance to discuss the subject with outsiders, as well as those from outside the culture, native commentators feel it is unneeded to understand the lore behind the Skinwalkers. Traditional Navajo people are reluctant to reveal Skinwalker lore to non-Navajos or even discuss it at all among those they do not trust. Um, Adrienne Keene, Cherokee Nation activist and founder of the blog Native Appropriations, has written in response to non-Navajos incorporating the legends into their writing, and specifically the impact when J.K. Rowling had done so. Um, he spoke and said, "We as natives are now opened up to a barrage of questions about these beliefs and traditions, but these are not things that need to be discussed by outsiders at all. I'm sorry if that seems unfair, but that's how our culture survives." So I know nothing of what he's talking about when J.K. Rowling wrote about skinwalkers. Do you have any idea?
No, I never knew that they did.
So, doing a quick Google search, writing about Native American wizards. Hmm, let's see here. So apparently she used it for a new story. Um, in the highly anticipated new story Harry Potter, author J.K. Rowling has transported her world of magical wizarding across the Atlantic, and some Native American commentators are not happy. Shit, I don't want to register. Okay, it's it's in a series called The History of Magic in North America, is what that's about.
Okay.
Or I guess the book that it's in. Um,
Yeah.
I guess I'm now on the Harry Potter wiki, by the way. I don't like being here.
Why?
I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. I just don't have to be.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm not a big Harry Potter fan either.
so it says in here, and this is probably why she got under fire. It says the damaging rumor was spread by unscrupulous no-maj medicine men who were faking magical powers and feared exposures. She spoke well, I guess she basically wrote that real skinwalkers never existed, but are nothing but a tale to demonize true wizards. So that kind of makes sense. She basically just denied an entire culture and was like, no, that's not real, and used it for her own personal gain. So I can understand why people would be mad about that.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, she kind of tried to screw over. Man, how long has Native Americans been around? Do we even know? Thousands of years. Like
Fuck
just
yeah.
screwed over thousands of years of history and culture. No, it's just a bad name for wizards. Yeah, I think she deserved that one.
Yeah, I think so too.
So the Pueblo people, Apache, and Hopi tribes also have their own legends involving the Skinwalker. I don't remember if we talk about any of those. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't remember. I know I said that little piece of information in my Wendigo episode, but I know I didn't go into depth on that. Um, so the Navajo believe there are places where the powers of both good and evil are present, and that those powers can be harnessed for either medicine men to utilize these powers to heal and aid members of their communication or communities, while those who practice Navajo witchcraft seek to direct the spiritual forces to cause harm or misfortune to others. This type of Navajo witchcraft is known as the Witchery Way, which uses human corpses in various ways, such as tools from the bones and connections that are used or concoctions that are used to curse, harm, or kill victims. Um, so that's probably a very taboo thing, and that is the fact that witches will use dead bodies. I don't know how, like, I honestly, genuinely do not know how, what's the word? I guess sacred the dead are. Pretty sure they're pretty sacred in Native American religion. Do you know?
I'm pretty sure it's very sacred.
I think it's one of those things where it's like you're not supposed to disturb the dead at all.
No, not at all. I know you're not because at least in the fact of like you always hear about the most haunted places
Oh,
in
Native American
America.
burial
It's
grounds?
always yeah, they're always built on top of Native
Mm.
American burial grounds.
Oh yeah, so that's probably a big no-no. Yeah, that
Right.
makes sense. Okay. The knowledge of this power is passed down from elders through the generations. Now, the Navajo are part of a larger culture area that also includes Pueblo, Apache, Hopi, and the Ute. I've heard of the Utes before. Um, in
I
other
don't think I
groups,
have.
I swear I've heard of them. There's also like, no, that's Utz. That's the chip. You ever seen the Utz chip in Walmart?
No.
Uh, oh man, I look like a total douchebag right now. Ute tribe. Uh, northeastern Utah, approximately 150 miles east of Salt Lake City. I swear I've heard of the Utes before, because I've heard them called the Utes. At least that scratched like an itch in my brain that made me think that I remembered them. um, but each of these tribes include a malevolent witch capable of transforming itself into an animal. So kind of different versions, but also kind of like the same background, if that makes sense. It's like one of those things where you know how we talk about the difference between Greek and Roman is like different names, but like same fundamental, like not stories, but like background. You know what I mean? It's kind of the same deal in the different tribes in Native American culture as what I would kind of say like Greek versus Roman. Different names, but like the same fundamental basics, maybe. I said stories or something like that at first, but I think maybe basics is a better way to put it. Does that make sense?
I think so. I think what I got out of it anyway was like the different cultures have the same as an example, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw. I know it's not Native American,
Hmm.
but it's Central American, the or South American, I guess, Central America. Chalk, and so the Mayans and the Aztecs, they have the
Hmm.
same god, but they're named different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like what is it? Jupiter and Zeus. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of like that. Same things, probably just a little different. Sometimes these witches evolved from living their lives as respected healers or spiritual guides, and later chose to use their powers for evil. Uh, though they can be either male or female, they are more often male, and they are basically to the point where they can walk freely among the tribe during the day and secretly transform under the cover of night. So it's kind of like they're still holding their position and pretending to be good, but they're actually skinwalkers in disguise. Um, in order to become a skinwalker, now this is crazy. This is I got this off a website. Basically, the rest of this big chunk until we get back to Skinwalker Ranch, I got from one website, and it's pretty crazy information. I was really interested in it. I think you'll find it interesting. So this one says that in order to become a skinwalker, he or she must be initiated by a secret society that requires the evilest of deeds, the killing of a close family member, most often a sibling. After this
What the?
task, yeah, that's I guess that's how, which I mean if you think about it, makes sense because they say like committing, using the magic for evil, but like how do you become a skinwalker before you start using the magic for evil? And I think one of the things that I talked about either in this episode or the Wendigo episode was cultural taboos. And I guess one of the worst ones is killing a close family member. Uh, so you could become one, AJ, if you just killed DJ. Like, it's that easy.
I mean, he gets on my nerves. I don't know if I'm gonna kill him.
Okay, so after this task has been completed, the individual then acquires supernatural powers, which gives them the ability to shapeshift into animals. Most often, they are seen in the form of coyotes, wolves, foxes, cougars, dogs, or bears, but can take the shape of any animal. They then wear the skin of the animals they transform into, hence the name Skinwalker. Sometimes they also wear animal skulls or antlers, which brings them more power. They choose what animal they want to turn into, depending on the abilities needed for a particular task, such as speed, strength, endurance, stealth, claws, teeth, etc. They may transform again if trying to escape from pursuers. Because of this, the Navajo consider it taboo for its members to wear the pelt of any predatory animal. However, sheepskin, leather, and buckskin are acceptable. Um, so I guess one of the ways to tell if someone is either stupid or a skinwalker is if they're wearing, for example, a wolf's pelt or a bear's pelt. Uh, Probably a skinwalker, and they could transform into those animals. So once they were shapeshifted, one way that others could tell they were not a real animal is that their eyes are very different. Instead, they are very human, and when light is shined on them, they turn bright red. Alternatively, in human form, their eyes look more animalistic. The evil society of witches gather in dark caves or secluded places for several purposes: to initiate new members, plot activities, harm people from a distance with black magic, and perform dark ceremonial rites. So now to me this sounds more like your Salem witch. Does that kind of make sense? With like
I
a
think so.
coven? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It sounds like a coven. Because I don't really remember seeing this about like skinwalkers having like basically covens of their own in groups where they perform rituals together. But I also am not going to count it out. This might be like 100% legit, you know? It just
Yeah.
surprises me. Okay, so the ceremonies performed are similar to other tribal affairs, including dancing, feasts, rituals, sand painting, but were often corrupted with dark connotations. Now, here's the kicker. The evildoers are also said to engage in necrophilia with female corpses, commit cannibalism, incest, and grave robbing.
Jesus. Fuck.
Yeah,
That's
so I guess they do all the bad things. Every taboo, grave robbing, uh,
yeah.
sex with dead people, cannibalism, incest. They do it all. They hit every single one off.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a little fucked up. It's a little fucked up. I honestly really didn't expect that. So that one hit me out of the blue.
Yeah.
Um, I thought I didn't really expect that to
No.
to be a thing. It's definitely different from what I imagined. But apparently during these gatherings, the skinwalkers shapeshift into their animal forms or go about naked, wearing only beaded jewelry and ceremonial paint. The leader of the skinwalkers is usually an old man who is a very powerful and long-lived shaman or medicine man. Um, of course, he's a skinwalker because he's probably a bad medicine man. Uh, the skinwalkers are also able to take possession of bodies of human victims if a person locks eyes with them. After taking control, the witch can make its victims do and say things they wouldn't normally do otherwise. Sorry about that, guys. I accidentally typed the same thing twice in a row. So, going past that, the Skinwalker's supernatural powers are uncanny. They're said to run faster than a car and have the ability to jump high cliffs. They are extremely fast, agile, and impossible to catch. They leave tracks that are larger than those of any animal or no tracks at all. When they have been seen, they have been described as not quite human and not fully animal, usually naked, but some say they have seen the creature wearing tattered shirts or jeans. Skinwalkers kill out of greed, anger, envy, spite, or revenge. It robs graves for personal wealth and to collect ingredients for black magic. The witches live on the unexpired lives of their victims and must continually kill or die. Uh, so skinwalkers can live forever, as long as they keep killing people, because it's one of I guess it's one of those things where they steal the life force of their victim. Just
Okay.
kind of crazy to
So we
think
got a
about.
vampire.
Kinda, yeah, but without being sexy and sparkly.
yeah. Because that's how they all are.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen Twilight, it's basically the best vampire movie to jump into. It's probably
Ever.
it's probably the most realistic one, you know, like true to form. Uh
100%.
yeah,
Caleb don't lie.
it's right. I never lie. Excuse me. So, they kill other people to stay alive. And skinwalkers and other witches have long been blamed for all manner of struggles and tragedies throughout the year, including sickness, drought, poor crops, and sudden deaths. Even smaller problems such as windstorms during a dance, a- alienation of affection by mates, that threw me for a loop. Should have typed that better. Alienation of affection. Should have just said like being turned away by a lover or something like that. The death of livestock and reversal of fortune were often believed to be the work of a witch. Okay, so that's not all I have today, but that is basically the end of my descriptors, giving you a little bit about skinwalkers. The next thing I have is kind of just a little bit about the beginning of Skinwalker Ranch. It's about a page of writing. It's not super in depth. Now, what do you know has happened on Skinwalker Ranch, AJ?
Um, God, I can't even remember now. I remember there's cows that I'm pretty sure have all the blood sucked out, but no, or
Yeah,
eyes eaten, blood sucked
mutilated
out.
animals.
Yeah, but they can't figure out how.
Hmm. Do you know anything
That's
else?
not really.
Okay, so Skinwalker Ranch has also been a host to aliens. Um, that's actually, I didn't get to it, but in the Netflix series, they have like episodes about UFO sightings and stuff like that, where they think they caught UFOs on film at Skinwalker Ranch. Um, Also, if I remember right, in the Ghost Adventures episode, they talk a lot about um, the aliens, and they think they actually send a guy out there who um, basically they put him out alone on the top of like a mountain by himself at like 3 a.m. He has a flashlight and that's it. And they point a camera at him and he's just sitting there like, I want to know if there really is other life in this world. Like, please show me something else. And they leave him there for like 2 hours or something like that. Um, so we have mutilations, animal mutilations. We have aliens, and there is also, and this is where the name comes from, a skinwalker sighting or two or more. I don't honestly remember. Um, One of the things that kind of pissed me off is the fact that a lot of people don't talk about the thing that it's named after, skinwalkers. They talk about the aliens, you know? Alien is a big thing for Skinwalker Ranch. Um, but I want to know more about the skinwalkers. That's the cool part to me. Aliens are cool,
Yeah,
but they're boring half the time. You know what I mean?
yeah, oh yeah.
They just get boring after a while. But like no one talks about skinwalkers. I think that shit's cool. Now, I remember. Do I have it in here? Do I have it in here? No, I don't. Okay, cool. So they have a story from the original owner. It was the guy. I don't remember his name. Um, Terry. Terry and Gwen. Terry is the original owner, if I remember correctly. And Terry once heard weird noises or something like that. So he grabbed like a rifle and he grabbed his two dogs and he went out in the night. And basically, what Terry came across is a wolf. But this wolf was said to be taller than him. Like, I think Terry's like 6 foot something, and it was taller than Terry.
So like a
Um,
fucking dire wolf.
Bigger than that. Bigger than
Oh
that.
shit.
Oh yeah. I think he said it was like 8 to 10 feet tall and like probably 20 feet long, like massive, massive wolf.
Wow.
And I don't remember if Terry took a shot at it and it just shrugged it off, or if Terry just sat there in like fear and then the wolf was like staring at him and then just turned around and fucking walked away. Um, I think that's the original Skinwalker sighting on that.
Okay.
I don't have it in my notes, but I remembered that. Um, I think actually Skinwalker Ranch. No, I might be wrong. I was gonna say I think Terry is like the reason for like one of the biggest UFO books of all time called like Fire Landing or something like that. Um, because there are supposedly UFO sightings and alien sightings. I don't remember if it's Skinwalker Ranch or if it's another thing, but there was a guy that had supposedly killed 20, and he calls them grays because they're the little gray aliens. And he has supposedly killed over 20 aliens in his home on Skinwalker Ranch.
What?
Um,
What?
yes,
And
yes.
he doesn't have any proof?
Well, see, here's the funny thing. He killed them with a sword. By the way, he killed them with a sword. And what he did is he took some of the meat or goop and sent it off to a lab. And that lab basically said that there was no DNA on Earth that matched whatever it was that he had sent in. They could not figure out what that piece of meat and cells were from. And as he told it, whatever it was that he sent in got confiscated by the government, and he's never seen it since. They took it away.
The fuck?
Sorry, taking a drink. So, there's a lot of shit that's happened at Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
Um, Now, to start it off, in 1996, a couple of outsiders were introduced to the legend of the Skinwalker after a series of inexplicable events occurred at their new ranch. Terry and Gwen Sherman first observed UFOs of varying sizes hovering above their property. Then 7 of their cows died or mysteriously disappeared. One was found with a hole cut in the center of its left eyeball. Another had its rectum carved out. The cattle the Shermans did find dead were both surrounded by an odd chemical smell. One was found dead in a clump of trees, the branches appearing to have been cut off. One of the cows that vanished had left tracks in the snow that had suddenly stopped. Terry said, "It's snow. It's hard for a 12 or 1,400-pound animal to just walk out without leaving tracks, or to stop and walk backwards and completely land in their previous tracks.
Mm-hmm.
It was just gone. It was very bizarre," he said. Perhaps the most terrifying were the voices Terry heard while walking his dogs one night. He reported the voices spoke in a language he didn't recognize. Oh God. He estimated that they came from about 25 feet away, but he couldn't see a thing. His dogs went berserk, barked, and ran back to the home. After the Shermans sold their property, these incidents continued. Witchcraft represents what? Oh, guys, that's where the this is where the rest of it was supposed to go. Why did it end up here? Uh, no wonder that happened. Yeah. Okay. So that little story was supposed to end at like after they sold their property, the incidents continued, but we'll come back to that. What was meant to be a little bit higher up in the story is that witchcraft represents the antithesis of Navajo cultural values and is not tolerated. They work to avoid it, prevent it, and cure it. However, when it exists, their laws have always said that when a person becomes a witch, they have forfeited their humanity and right to exist, and so they are killed. However, skinwalkers are notoriously hard to kill and attempts are usually unsuccessful. Trying to kill one will often result in the witch seeking revenge. Successfully killing one generally requires the assistance of a powerful shaman who knows the spells and rituals that can turn the skinwalker's evil upon itself. Another alternative is to shoot the creature with bullets that have been dipped into white ash. However, the shot must hit the witch in the neck or the head. Okay, so that's kind of all of my notes. Um, I meant to have that up early in the story, so that's my bad, guys. It flows really badly now. Sorry about that. Um, but anyways, what do you think of the skinwalkers themselves?
They creep me the fuck out.
They creep you out?
Yeah, because like a bunch of stuff I've always heard, at least legend or like around here, like when we were kids and stuff, is when you talk about them, apparently no matter where you are, they can hear you.
Yes.
They can make any noise, mimic any noise and or animal, person, whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've always heard that they can change that stuff you already said. Some of the stuff you said, a bunch of the stuff you've been saying, I didn't know of.
It was new to me too, and I've always known a little bit about them. Like I said,
Yeah,
I've watched multiple episodes about Skinwalker Ranch through various means of television.
yeah, they're fucking. I just gotta say they're fucking creepy
They are. Wouldn't
and
that be
almost.
creepy to walk your dogs and then hear voices?
Oh, I'd get the fuck out of there instantly.
Oh yeah.
Instantly.
Do you have
I was
white
so
ash you
scared
can dip your bullets in?
when I was younger. I thought we had a skinwalker on my dad's property because
Really?
I always heard that skinwalkers when I was younger. I didn't know that they could change into like anything, any animal.
Yeah.
I always heard that skinwalkers change into cougars and coyotes.
Hmm.
And when I was younger, my uncle was hunting and he seen a cougar. As he was hunting, he seen a cougar walk right through like he only seen the butt end of it, and he said he always seen it just walk right into my dad's woods, right on the tree line.
Yeah.
And then after that day, I was playing outside with my cousin and my brother Tyler,
Hmm.
and we started hearing. It wasn't. It was super fucking creepy because I've also always heard that cougars can almost mimic a woman
Like woman's
crying.
scream? Yeah.
Yeah, a woman's crying or screaming. So we were hearing that in the middle of the fucking woods.
Mm.
So I kept thinking it was a fucking skinwalker. And then a couple of days later, we go out there and there's a fucking cow carcass on our property, and we don't have cows.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, what the fuck is going on?
That is a little creepy because cows are heavy. There are cougars
Yeah,
in Missouri.
yeah.
I have seen a cougar with my own
I,
two eyes in Missouri.
I'll give it props. It was on our property. It was a calf. It was a calf
Okay,
carcass.
that makes more sense. I was about to
Yeah,
say we
yeah.
have cougars, but I don't think they can drag a full cow. That makes more
It definitely
sense.
wasn't a baby, but it was 100% not a full grown.
Yeah.
Granted, all you could really see were bones. Like half
Mhm.
of its body was still there. The other half was like completely just eaten up. It was just bones.
Yeah, was there blood?
Oh yeah, there's so much blood.
It wasn't a skinwalker, or at least it wasn't an alien.
Yeah, no, no.
Because no one ever really, I mean, I think it's pointed towards UFOs, but they never really say like the no blood thing is due to aliens or is due to the skinwalkers. Like no one ever says like what causes it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so.
So want to say it's probably the aliens that suck all the blood out. So you're probably safe from aliens at least.
Good,
Skinwalker's
because
still
fuck
debatable.
aliens too.
Yeah, you remember there was one time we were chilling at your house. It was me, you, Austin, and Josh. This is before Josh got sent out to the Navy like a year before or something like that.
Uh
And we
huh.
were having a bonfire and we were fucking talking about solar because I had just gotten into like the solar program. We were talking about aliens and religion, and then you fell asleep, and it was just me, Josh, and Austin sitting on the bed of a truck with like a fire.
I
Um,
always fall asleep, so
I know he does. Oh,
I
I
can't
think we
hang.
made fun of him.
Probably.
I think we were like, dude, why the fuck are you out here if you're just gonna fall asleep? And you were just like, it's comfortable. And then,
Oh, I remember now. Yeah, you said bonfire, and I was like, were we on my dad's property? But
oh,
no. Yeah, I remember now. I remember that now.
yeah, we were, cause we had Josh's truck, his white Chevy, was
Yeah.
out there, and we were on the bed. I think it was when Josh lived with you?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, yeah. It was during that. We were talking about all kinds of stuff, and fell asleep. What was this about?
Aliens, but real quick, I got one more thing. I used to
Yes.
not believe in aliens like at all.
Okay.
Do you know what got me to believe in them?
What's that?
Lil Dicky song Pillow Talking.
Oh my gosh. AJ used to be the biggest Lil Dicky dick rider. Like, pun intended. He used to, like, literally, that was the only thing he would listen to.
I wouldn't go
Um,
that far. It wasn't the only thing, but I did listen to him a fuckload. But
uh, you
yeah, it
could
was when he
rap
talked about
every one of his songs.
I mean I still can. But it was when he talks about the war and aliens and shit,
Mhm.
and he's like, we could be a fucking side project for this guy. And I'm like, oh shit, I never thought about that, but you're kind of right.
For God?
Yeah,
I don't know
like the.
about
I
that.
mean, think about it though.
I don't know about that. But hey, I'm not gonna turn it down. I want to see evidence, Apparently the United States is going to or has released their evidence of UFOs or some shit like that. So,
Really
yeah, at least is
cool.
going to if it hasn't been released already, but it's supposedly out there somewhere. Or
Hell
at
yeah.
least will be out there somewhere. Um, so Terry and Gwen were not the first owners of Skinwalker Ranch. It shows here on the Wikipedia page for it that Kenneth and Edith Myers were the first owners from 1934 to 1994, so around 60 years. Um, and then they either died or moved and sold it to Terry and Gwen, and they
I
owned
thought
it for 2 years.
I thought that the government or whatever got a hold of it for a while.
Um, so Terry and Gwen sold it to Robert Bigelow. Robert Bigelow is a billionaire philanthropist guy um, that was super interested in UFOs and shit. Um, he is like an aerospace engineer or has like an aerospace company, so that might be where it comes from because
Maybe,
he
yeah.
worked closely with the government for that job.
Yeah.
Um, But then Robert owned it for 10 years, and then he sold it to the guy that owns it now. His name is Brandon Fugel, and he owns Adamantium Real Estate. Um, in 2016, Bigelow sold it to Brandon Fugel, I think for like $4.5 million dollars. Um,
Jesus.
yeah. After this purchase, roads leading to the ranch were blocked. The perimeter was gated and guarded by cameras and barbed wire. Signs were posted, like they basically said no one comes here anymore.
Mhm.
And their whole thing is they want to basically experiment and see. And that's where the Skinwalker Ranch, the Secret of Skinwalker Ranch TV show on Netflix comes from. Um, the guy Brandon Fugel actually is the one making that series. So that was his idea. Is there anything that really jumps out at you, or
No, I don't think so.
anything that you're like, oh man, we need to talk about this aspect?
Um, I really don't think I have anything else.
Yeah,
I feel like you covered everything I at least had questions about.
that's good. That's always nice. Yeah, there is quite a lot, um, and also not a lot at the same time, which is a sad thing. Um, Talked a lot about the skinwalkers themselves, how you become one. Explored some options that I didn't know you were able to become a skinwalker by, and I guess their little group of skinwalkers. That was news to me. I think that one's a
Yeah,
little fucking crazy.
yeah, I didn't fucking know uh how I didn't know that the medical what'd you call them?
Medicine men.
Medicine men. I didn't know that's who became skinwalkers. I actually thought I didn't even think skinwalkers used to be human. I thought
Always monsters.
they were either always monsters or okay, I guess I did think they used to be human, but I didn't think they had to be like a certain have a certain job or certain
You
whatever
thought
to
anyone
become
could
one.
be it, kind of like a
Yeah.
Wendigo.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like you could be possessed by a Wendigo spirit, and like there's nothing you can do. Usually to become one you have to do certain things, but it also said that like a Wendigo could literally just possess a person if it wanted to. If it like for some reason didn't eat and kill the guy, it could just turn you into a Wendigo.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess there is a more strict criteria for skinwalkers. They want you to know magic, basically, which is kind of crazy. I I love Native American culture. Um, my stepdad at the one point in my life, his name was Frank, and he was the chief of police in Seneca for, man, what is that? What is it? Oh, I can't remember what the tribe was called, but chief of police for some tribe in Seneca. Um, and he was Native American himself. So I went to a lot of powwows. Is that what it's
Yeah.
called?
Are you sure it wouldn't like out in Miami or something like that?
Well,
Or was it?
yes, but the police office was in Seneca.
Oh, I got you. So was it like Quapaw? Quapaw
Maybe.
Nation?
I don't remember. Um, but he
Cherokee?
was it was one of those. I honestly don't
Yeah.
remember. I'd have to text my mom and ask, but he was big into the culture because he was Native American himself and so I went to a lot of powwows whenever I was younger and it's been a long time since then. I think I was like 10 at the time and it's been 13 years since then, but big respect for the Native American culture and I did not really know that medicine men were like I guess a thing, you know?
Yeah.
I did not know that medicine men knew magic. I thought it was more of like a herbal, how do you say, like natural healing, if that makes sense. Like a lot of herbs and like bark that has natural healing properties or like natural medicinal properties. But I guess in the Four Corners they have medicine men that know magic, and I'm wondering if that's how you know those tribes and cultures in that area have skinwalkers and like the tribes and cultures in our area don't, is because they have medicine men and we have something else. Anyways, you got anything else for the episode?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, in that case, I think we can end it here.
Sweet.
Okay. Well, we said our names earlier, so we can just go ahead and like end it now.
You gonna plug all our shit?
Why would I do that?
Why not?
Oh, can't
Plug the
believe
shit
this
that we
guy.
don't post on.
Such a fucking slave driver. I know. It's like if we
uh
actually posted on it, maybe. And last episode, I said I was gonna post like a picture of a Wendigo on the thing, and then I never did.
Oh, I do want to mention. I don't know if it's messing up on everybody's Apple podcast. I don't think it's messing up on anything else. But the last episode we did, which would be Summon Kong, um, my Apple does not have that episode. My cousin's Apple podcast does not have that episode, but my wife's Apple podcast does.
Mm,
So I don't know what the fuck is going on,
I'm
but it's
wondering, is it
it's
an age thing?
why would mine be?
I have no idea. Only thing I can think of is like maybe like an age restriction that like some people have in their settings turned on and some people have off.
See, I don't think so because I don't think someone Kong got near as bad as fucking talking about Zeus and shit.
Yeah. Or the Wendigos, literally cannibalism, eating
Yeah.
people.
Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I don't know if it's screwing up or not. I don't know even. I don't have an idea how to fix that issue other than delete the episode and re-upload it.
Yeah, that would kind of suck though.
Yeah.
I'm looking
But
up
anyway, that's all I have.
I'm looking up a Skinwalker right now. Oh man, should I post no, that one's really I guess I could post the iconic one. I'm sure even you've seen the iconic one. Like I know you've
Uh,
seen the iconic one.
Probably. What are you talking about? Iconic one.
The iconic Skinwalker photo. It looks like the devil.
I guess I don't know which one you're talking about.
I'll post it right now to the Discord. But you're gonna hey, by the way, guys, join our Discord. Um you're gonna see that and be like, "Oh,
I've never seen that one. That's
you've
fucking creepy though.
you've never seen that? Dude,
No.
this is like the most iconic Skinwalker photo ever. I've seen this like 20 times.
Is this one photoshopped or
I don't think so. It's probably fake, but if it's not, fucking move. Burn down that forest.
fuck yeah.
That is, yeah, that's a Skinwalker, with the fucking goat horns or antlers.
Yeah, yeah.
This is probably a very powerful Skinwalker. He's got very goat-like features. He has hooves, which is why I say it looks like the devil. Because that's something that like the devil is supposed to have, hooven feet, goat-like face, fucking
Yeah.
horns. So yeah, but we have a link tree, and in this link tree we have things that you can click on. They're called links, and in these links, when you click on them, it'll do this crazy thing where it takes you to our social media, depending on the one that you click on. It's crazy, I know, right? But get this, you can click on the one that says Discord, and then you can join it, like click on it and press join, and then you can talk to us. That'd be cool, wouldn't it, guys?
Mansplaining this shit.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I haven't done it yet, so I'm just gonna assume. Just gonna assume they need some help. So, other thing is Facebook. We have a Facebook. If you want to see what we look like, you can just click on the Facebook, and then you can see what we look at. Um, you can also talk to us there, but like our family also has access to our Facebook, so like don't be weird on Facebook.
Yeah,
Um,
I had to set it to notify me when somebody wants to post something because somebody posted some random stuff and I don't even know what language it was.
it was Greek. I translated it.
Really? What did it say?
Yeah. Fuck. It was like I am who he was or something like that. Like it was probably some shit that like, and this is gonna sound bad if you are still listening to these episodes, but it sounded like something an edgy person would make happen in like a movie. You know what I mean? Like
I think so.
the badass character,
Yeah.
says I am who he was, and like it sounded, but it was in like Greek or something like that, so like no one would have understood it unless they went to Google Translate like I did.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that I mean that post was harmless. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, just don't be weird on Facebook.
Got scared. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's saying, so I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this.
You deleted his post?
Yeah, or
Oh
actually,
man.
I don't know if I actually deleted it or not, but as soon as I seen it, I know for sure I put it on where I have to approve it.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Um, don't be weird on Facebook. Don't post things in other languages without like a little explanation. Uh,
Yeah, we're dumb Americans.
you'll you'll give AJ a heart attack.
Yeah,
Um, we have an Instagram, right?
we do. I'm trying to get back into it.
See, Instagram's where we should really post the photos and like new episode photo of
Yeah,
Skinwalker, new episode
yeah.
photo of Sun Wukong. Then we have a Twitter. I do the Twitter. Um, it's half shit posts and half like me being like new episode out, blah blah blah, with the link. So follow our Twitter. That'd be cool. I'll shit post more if you guys want it. What else do we have? We have an email that we don't ever talk about because there's other ways that people can reach us that would be better. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord. Am I missing anything?
I don't think so. I think it's it.
Cool. All right, guys. Show your friends this episode and tell them to show their friends. I don't think. Yeah, maybe that one will get edited out. Let me go ahead and put in my little editing script here. 1 hour, 3 minutes, 40 seconds, and then I'll put
Keep this
edit
part in though.
out. Yeah, I will. God, there we go. There. Sorry about that, guys. Had to figure something. I said something that would probably get us in trouble. So,
Yeah, I think so.
mm. Yeah. But if you knew me in real life, you know I'd say the craziest fucking shit. And AJ sleeps at fucking parties.
Hell yeah, I do.
uh, we should hang out sometime. Hey, should we end this?
Sure.
Okay. Bye,
I was about
guys.
to say we need to play D&D again.
Yeah, we really. Hey, bye. Say bye. Say bye to
Bye.
the podcast.